We wouldn't want to get too far without understanding what we're talking about when we say the word network. Well, we're certainly talking about a computer network. And this is rarely something that could be defined as simple. Real-world networks are often very complicated, very involved, and we're going to see that as we delve into this Cisco world that we're embarking on. And when we're looking here, we could first play off of what we see in our home office. What do you see in your home office? We see things like broadband routers, DSL cable, internet connectivity, often a wireless access point that allows us to use our Wi-Fi, which is great. And we connect up to this thing called the internet, which is a very large series of connections that are facilitated by routers, many players on the internet, no surprises there. But we're in a Cisco class, so we're not so concerned about what happens in the home office. We have to be mindful, we have to be educated on what happens in the home office. But when Raymond began this course and our definition of the course goal, he talked about small to medium size network. And so when I hear small to medium size network, I start to think of what happens in the branch office and the headquarters. Now, these things can exceed the medium scale that we had mentioned. But Raymond, what sorts of things might we see in a branch office and in a headquarters?
Well, in our branch offices and our headquarters, we're going to find switches. We're going to find multiple switches. We're going to find switches connecting up to our end stations. We'll find routers connecting us up out to the internet. Why? Because they have the serial connections that we need, but they also have the Ethernet connections that connect downstream to those multi-layer switches. So we find a lot of those components, those routers, those switches. We'll find PCs, printers, servers, and a whole bunch of different things that we use inside of that network for communications. So really, when we get to headquarters, we're just growing that at a larger scale. We're going to have many, many, many more switches and many, many more routers. We're even going to have data centers, Dan, so that way there we can store all of our information and our resources in a central location for users to access.
And the first time you see this, you start to go, holy smokes, that's a pretty complicated network. But in fact, Cisco reduces those complexities for us by giving us models to work with. So later in your journey, you're going to learn about things like the access and distribution and core layers. And so when you see this now, you're going to go, oh, that's just the enterprise composite network model. That's the typical 3-layer Cisco network model that is wrapped together for a campus area network over there in the headquarters. And you don't even see all the individual links anymore. We also have mobile users that are going to get connectivity. This is where we might have VPN options available to us, so those mobile users can have that same kind of functionality that they would have if they were in a branch office or the headquarters, but all the while being in a remote location, maybe a hotel, a coffee shop, in an airport, and still being able to access the file servers, their email, and things of that nature.